Hello, it's JCK here, and it's the 6th of April, Wednesday, 6th of April 2022. Um, this is an interesting topic that I've been thinking about and pondering about for quite some time, and it is what is your role? What is your job? What are you here to do? Many of us who are awakening are trying to work out, once we find out that this is a multidimensional universe and we understand that concept, we're so disillusioned with this 3D world, and we know that there's something bigger, and we contemplate various things, wondering who we really are. What is our role here? What is our mission? We talk about light workers who've come in here to help save the human race. Many of us identify as these light workers, these star seeds, way showers. We see ourselves as people who are full of light in a world that's very dim, and we assign ourselves roles that we feel on a core level to rescue or to assist the human race to greater heights. With that comes explorations of other worlds and other races of beings. And many of us begin to feel a greater camaraderie with that other dimension, more so than this human vessel. The more I contemplate it, however, the more I realize that our consciousness is right here and now, right here. We're here in a 3D body. We're here in a 3D world. We need to straddle both the 3D and all the other dimensions, but it's very difficult for most people to live in all of those realities at once. So many of us are either very hardwired to stay grounded in 3D, and we struggle because we block out the spirituality and we block out our heart. And then there's others who just want to live in the upper realms, in the higher dimensions, because it's fun to go there. It makes for great escapism. Infinite possibilities are available to us when we contemplate these other worlds, these spaceships, these highly evolved beings, these things that are not normal to us on Earth. But what I've come to realize is that we are all of that. We are multidimensional, and we have lived countless lifetimes as various beings, experienced many things, and yet we keep missing the point. We keep thinking, and I'm guilty of this, we keep thinking, there's a war. I'm a warrior. I'm a spiritual warrior. I'm a light being that's come in here to battle and fight the dark. And that is the story that's going on right now. But you're more than this. You're more than a warrior. Cockatoo. You're more than a warrior. You're more than a Pleiadian. You're more than the story that a psychic reader told you who did a spirit guide portrait for you. You have to keep looking at the bigger picture to understand the microcosm of why you're here and who you are. And the conclusion I've come to is your only job, your core job, is to return to love. That's it. Return to love. everything else is a means to an end. Everything else is part of the story. It's part of the simulation. Everything else is the experiences to get you to that core mission, which is return to love. In this matrix, we have been disconnected from our heart consciousness. We have been disconnected from Mother Gaia, and whether you want to call it Gaia, whether you want to call it Mother Earth, whether you want to call it just simply the feminine, the divine feminine, or essentially just your heart. We've been disconnected from that, and we've been told to be right brain, to question everything, to critically analyze, to only look for evidence. It disconnects you from faith, it disconnects you from your heart center, and you need both. You need the left and the right, the male and the female. And when I say male and female, I mean all of us have this. All of us have these aspects, the male and the female. But we have been cut off and disconnected from these aspects of ourselves for a reason. Disconnect you from your heart and nature, then you can't manifest things. You can't manifest the reality that you want. So at the core of everything, you need to return to love. Because love is the central pinnacle energy of source and all that is. It is stripped bare and absolute truth. And everything else is a distraction. Everything else is steering you away from love. Everything else is steering away from finding out who you really are. And who are you really? You're not a Pleiadian, you're not an Arcturian, you're not a reincarnation of Cleopatra, you're not a crazy cat lady. My cat. You are more than this. You come from God. If God created you, you are made up of the energy and the power of the Creator. So you are God. God is all. All that ever was, all that ever will be, all that ever can be. So while you tell yourself these stories, just remember you need to return to love. That's it. That's your core principle. That's your job. If you are experiencing imbalance in your life at the moment, ask yourself, how do I return to love? Am I living in fear, which is the opposite of love? Or am I living in alignment with love, with my heart, with the core truth of who I am? I'm going to leave you with a poem from my absolute favorite book that was ever written by my absolute favorite artist and poet, and he happens to be Lebanese, or was Lebanese, and his name is Khalil Gibran. And Khalil Gibran's most famous work is called The Prophet. And one of the chapters in that book of brilliance is called On Love. And there is nothing more accurate in the description of love than this poem. So I will leave you with my reading of Khalil Gibran's description of love from his book, The Prophet. The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. On Love. Then said Al-Mitra, "Speak to us of love." And he raised his head and looked upon the people. And there fell a stillness upon them. And with a great voice he said, "When love beckons to you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep. And when his wings enfold you, yield to him, though the sword hidden among his pinions may wound you. And when he speaks to you, believe in him, though his voice may shatter your dreams as the north wind lays waste to the garden. For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he is for your growth, so is he for your pruning. Even as he ascends to your height and caresses your tenderest branches that quiver in the sun, so shall he descend to your roots and shake them in their clinging to the earth. Like sheaves of corn, he gathers you unto himself. He threshes you to make you naked. He sifts you to free you from your husks. He grinds you to whiteness. He kneads you until you are pliant. And then he assigns you to his sacred fire, that you may become sacred bread for God's sacred feast. All these things shall love do unto you, that you may know the secrets of your heart, and in that knowledge become a fragment of life's heart. But if in your fear you would seek only love's peace and love's pleasure, then it is better for you that you cover your nakedness and pass out of love's threshing floor into the seasonless world, where you shall laugh, but not all of your laughter, and weep, but not all of your tears. Love gives you naught but itself, and takes naught but from itself. Love possesses not, nor would it be possessed, for love is sufficient unto love. When you love, you should not say, God is in my heart, but rather, I am in the heart of God. And think not you can direct the course of love, for love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course. Love has no other desire but to fulfill itself. But if you love and must needs have desires, let these be your desires. To melt and be like a running brook that sings its melody to the night. To know the pain of too much tenderness. To be wounded by your own understanding of love, and to bleed willingly and joyfully. To wake at dawn with a winged heart and give thanks for another day of loving. To rest at the noon hour and meditate love's ecstasy. To return home at eventide with gratitude, and then to sleep with a prayer for the beloved in your heart and a song of praise upon your lips.